Good afternoon, AVID family. How are we doing? Are you doing well? I hope Philadelphia is treating you well. Philly is my hometown. Now, technically, I did not grow up within the city's boundaries, but as a 3 decades-long suffering Philadelphia sports fan, I think I've earned the right to call it my hometown. Now, Philadelphia is also known as the city of brotherly love, which might seem like a strange name for the city that threw snowballs at and booed Santa Claus, that had to have a jail installed in the bowels of its football stadium. But I hope that over your time here in Philadelphia, you meet plenty of people who really represent that name very, very well. Growing up in this area helped foster in me a true sense of patriotism. My family and friends would spend summer days picnicking in Valley Forge Park, where General George Washington trained his troops in the winter of 1777 to 78 and prepared to fight the British. 6 blocks from this very room, you can go see the hall where the Declaration of Independence was signed. And in that same park, you can go to see the Liberty Bell, that enduring, iconic symbol of freedom and the American spirit. That bell came to symbolically represent all the bells that rang out to announce our liberty and the founding of this nation, the land of opportunity. And I think the pursuit of that ideal, the American promise of opportunity, is what brings people like us together today. What draws us to our work as educators and to this program in particular. And if we are paying attention and being honest with ourselves, we know that opportunity is getting tough to come by in America today. In this year's State of the Union, President Obama, recognizing this reality, reminded us that opportunity is who we are. And he laid out the stakes. The defining project of our generation, he said, is to restore that promise. And that effort, that restoring of the promise of opportunity, that is exactly what implementing AVID is all about. It's about giving students the tools and confidence to sustain their hope in a bright future. It's about believing in the astounding abilities of students when they find someone to be their champion. And it's about believing that demographics do not determine destiny. And for me, I agree, yeah. And for me, all of that work is built on the foundation of relationships. Relationships characterized by trust, compassion, stability, and hope. The most important of those relationships are between teachers and students, and I have to tell you about the student who taught me this lesson first. I have to tell you about Amanda. I met her as an 8th grade student. She was a motivated young lady who was doing well in standard classes. She seemed incredibly personable and promising. I knew that our program could help maximize her potential, and I knew that she would be a great fit for us. But Amanda was not so sure. And I wouldn't say that my return visits to talk to her at her middle school, or the discussions that I had with her father over the phone, or the lobbying I did with her 8th grade teachers to convince her to join, or showing up at her preseason soccer practices, I wouldn't characterize those as stalking. As much as I would say that it was persistent convincing. And Amanda eventually was convinced and decided to opt in to AVID just before her 9th grade year began. And she did really well. She was a natural leader. She was curious. She was diligent, really diligent, like to the point of being neurotic. And she would often come by after school just to kind of talk through some of the things that were on her mind. And over the course of that year, she came to share her story with me. See, she came after school to clear her mind and talk through her challenges because she was scared. Amanda grew up in the home of a parent fighting an addiction. As a middle schooler, she was neglected, left at home as the caretaker for herself and her younger sister for days at a time. One winter with an electric blanket as their only source of heat. Other times, their apartment would have strangers coming and going at all hours. And now in high school, after being placed in the care of her father, Amanda was afraid. She was afraid that if she did not achieve, that she would face that life again. She was afraid that some inner demons lying insidiously in her genes would devastate her dreams. And so she came after school, looking to have someone fan the fledgling flames of hope that she desperately clung to. And I did what I could. I encouraged her, I shared my belief in her. I expressed how she was a vital member of our AVID class and program, and how I expected great things of her just because I could so clearly see the capability in her. And slowly, she began to believe. She moved into honors courses, GT classes, and onto AP courses, and she succeeded. She was challenged, but in that challenge, she found strength in herself that she didn't know was there. And with each success, her belief and confidence grew. High school was not an easy time for Amanda. There was an unhealthy relationship. There was the untimely death of a close friend. There was the challenge of forgiving and forging a new relationship with her mother. And there was the intense work and worry that came with sustaining her college dreams, which was the key to her life dreams. But I'm happy to tell you that this fall, Amanda will begin her junior year at Salisbury University, where she has been on the dean's list every single semester, and where she was granted admission to their competitive nursing program. After living a life defined by overcoming her own obstacles, she has decided to dedicate the rest of her life to helping others overcome their own. And now she rings out as the great hope for her family, as the promise of liberty from poverty and strife that they have always known. When she graduated from high school, Amanda wrote me a letter, and among other eye-watering sentiments was this statement: "I was a worrywart. You made me a warrior." And that is where we all come in, when our classrooms can be an oasis of grace, when we are champions of children, when our programs provide a pathway for students to bolster their beliefs in themselves. College dreams can and do come true. There are thousands of Amandas out there, and you are making a difference in their lives every single day. Veterans of this work will tell you that AP numbers and SAT scores, GPAs, and college enrollment, we can weigh those numbers 8 ways from Wednesdays and drill data until we are drained. And there is a time and a place for some of that, but the power of AVID is in people. It's in relationships. It's in relational trust. It's in teachers with a heart for this work, heavily investing in students. And it's in their success in rigorous academic work, planting that seed of belief that can blossom into young men and women ready to take on the world. But sustaining that work relies on another type of relationship, that of the site team and adults in our buildings. AVID needs to be a team. It needs to be distributed leadership, collaborative leadership. And we really take that seriously at Patapsco. We take that so seriously that I married our school's best elective teacher so that she couldn't get away from AVID or from me. Then we recruited her work wife to come and be our new coordinator. And then we recruited my college roommate. And then we just recruited all the best teachers in the school to be a part of our team. And when Sarah and I had our first child 4 months ago, I lobbied to name him David, D-Avid. Now, Sarah just wouldn't go for that. But it has been an absolute joy to build a site team of incredible faculty members and our friends who take ownership of our program, who believe in the work, and who make an important difference in the lives of children every single day. It gives me such peace to know that while I travel the country representing educators and representing AVID this year, that this amazing team will ensure that our program and our students continue to reach their dreams. I wish you all an incredible remainder of your Summer Institute here in the city of brotherly love. And as you leave, I hope that you feel encouraged and inspired and energized to build those relationships and deliver opportunity to your students. They're counting on you. Thank you.